Back in 1975, Ernest Borgnine was offered a part in the film Jesus of Nazareth. He played the part of the centurion who was present at the crucifixion, the one whose servant had been healed by Jesus. The weather was chill and gray when it came time for his scene during the crucifixion. The camera was to be focused on him at the foot of the cross, and so it was not necessary for Robert Powell, the actor who portrayed Jesus, to be there. The director put a chalk mark on a piece of scenery beside the cameraman and said he wanted Ernest to look at that mark as if he were looking at Jesus. So Ernest moved into position and looked up at the mark as instructed. The director asked if he was ready, but Ernest hesitated. He asked the director if it would be possible for somebody to read from the Bible the words that Jesus had said on the cross. He knew the words well from the days of his childhood and read them in preparation for the film, but wanted to hear them then. So the director opened the Bible to the book of Luke and signaled for the camera to start rolling. As the director started reading Jesus' words aloud, Ernest stared up at the chalk mark, thinking what might have gone through the centurion's mind. As the director read, Ernest felt the words of Jesus burned into him. "Forgive me, Father, for even being here," was the centurion's prayer that formed in his thoughts. As he stared upward, instead of the chalk mark, he suddenly saw the face of Jesus Christ, lifelike and clear. It was not the features of Robert Powell he was used to seeing, but the most beautiful, gentle visage he had ever known. He looked down at him through tragic, sorrowful eyes with an expression of love beyond description. It was not the voice of the director reading from the Bible, but the voice of Jesus himself saying, "Father, into thy hands I commend my spirit." In awe, Ernest watched Jesus' head slump to one side and knew he was dead. A terrible grief welled within him, and he started sobbing uncontrollably. The director yelled cut, and cast members, Bancroft and Hussey, were crying too. Ernest wiped his eyes and looked up again to where he had seen Jesus, but he was gone. Ernest stated that it didn't matter whether he saw a vision of Jesus or if it was something in his mind, for it was a profound spiritual experience, and that he hadn't been the same person since.